My family, we eat a lot of wraps and tacos and stuff like that. We really like those. Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Julie and I run the Instagram page Mrs. Prairie Wife, and I am going to be talking to you today about a really valuable tip I learned that helped me save so much money when it came to building my pantry and feeding my family. Now, my window in my bedroom is open. It is unbearably hot today, so fingers crossed it's not too loud and we can just chat for a few minutes. So this is my second ever YouTube video. If you're checking it out, I wouldn't mind receiving some comments at the end of the video if it helped you out, or if you have any further questions that I can talk on in maybe future videos or on a future blog post. This particular video is related to a blog post that I just put out called Ultimate Pantry Staples Checklist to Save You Time and Money, and it is everything I find essential to have inside a pantry to give you versatility and the ability to increase nutritional profiles or flavor profiles of the things you're cooking or baking, and ideally both. The tip I want to give you today is it's more of a challenge. Let's call it a challenge. What I'm challenging you to do today is to think in terms of the most basic ingredients. What I'm saying is, when we go grocery shopping, it can be really easy to think in terms of convenience without even realizing it. Back when I didn't have a lot of money to go grocery shopping with, I didn't realize that something like pasta sauce wasn't a staple. Pasta sauce is a convenience. You pay anywhere from $4 to $15 or more for a really good pasta sauce, right? Whereas you can buy a can of tomato sauce for about $2 and add your own seasonings at home. So that is just one example of challenging you to come back to the most basic ingredient, which is just the tomato sauce, and having that in your pantry instead. Having those special extras like the pre-made pasta sauces and stuff, especially if you have like a favorite one, it's awesome. It's good to have that stuff in your pantry. But if you're looking to go cheap, or if you're looking to go versatile, going back to those bare basic ingredients is really helpful. Now, another thing that I would mention is that there are cost differences based on different types of preservation. So for example, it costs about $1.50 to $2 for a can of beans, which is gonna give me just a little 700 and something ml jar, and it's really only a 1 or 2 time use thing. Or it costs me $2 for a bag of dried beans, which I can get several meals out of. So in my pantry, I do have both, but I have way more dried beans than I do canned beans because they're more versatile and they go further. I really want to challenge you to look at your grocery list from this perspective and say, is there something on here that I'm paying the price of convenience for? There's so many things you wouldn't even think you're paying the price of convenience for, or paying for the convenience factor on it, when you actually in fact are. For example, in my family, we eat a lot of wraps and tacos and stuff like that. We really like those. It can cost anywhere from $3 to $7 to get a good quality tortilla or a pack of them, right? Whereas at home, I already have the flour, I already have the water, and I can't remember what the other couple of ingredients are. I think it's salt and possibly baking powder, but I already have these things at home and I can make them. They're fresh, they're delicious. I can add seasoning directly to them, and it's the equivalent of a $7 pack of tortillas, and it costs me maybe $2 in ingredients to make at home. I already have the ingredients at home, which if you're shopping on a budget, saving that $4 to $7 is incredible. It gets you an extra pound of beef, or it could get you more fresh vegetables, or it can be put towards things like dried beans to stock up your pantry. So think in terms of removing as much convenience as possible. Get to the bare basics ingredients, especially when you're stocking your pantry. Not only is it going to save you money, it's going to give you versatility so that can of tomato sauce, for example. It can be a pasta sauce, like I mentioned, or it can be for your chili, or you can make different types of soups with it, all sorts of things. So think in terms of the most basic ingredient. The same goes, let's say, for rice. I know that I've seen a lot of pantries stocked, sometimes including my own, with those prepared rice packets that are like usually $2 to $3 for a little bag. And you look at it and you're like, $2 to $3, that's not bad, especially when they're on sale for like $1 something. And you're like, sweet, I'll get like the 10 for $10 or whatever. And that's great. You get 10 sides out of it for $10 too, right? But you could have just gotten a bag of rice for $7 and it would have made way more than 10 sides, and you could have added all the seasonings at home. And then you get the versatility factor too, because a lot of times those little prepared packages, they're full of all sorts of weird stuff for starters, but they're already flavored, and so you can't necessarily change the flavor profile to suit what you like. So these are just some of the things that I do to make sure that I'm shopping as cheap as possible, I'm keeping it as simple as possible, I'm buying ingredients rather than prepared things. Now, that's not to say that I never buy prepared things, it's just this is my focus. This is the main stuff I buy. I spend a little bit of my money on the extra special stuff, the prepared pasta sauces or those little side dishes. My local grocery store, they pre-make side dishes, and I spend more money on those than I should sometimes. But sometimes the convenience factor is worth it, right? But for the most part, especially if we're trying to be budget conscious, we should be focusing on just specific ingredients and going as far back as we can in the process, taking that tomato or taking that pasta sauce down to a tomato sauce, taking those canned beans down to dried beans, taking those side pouches down to just a bag of rice. Simple things like that. They will save you so much money at the till, you would be surprised. So that's my challenge to you. Let me know if you're gonna take it in the comments. If you're new here, I love sharing on homemaking, homeschooling, food, budgeting, family, relationships, all the things related to just being a woman, a traditional woman in a modern society. And if you can't hear, my daughter is a little upset right now, and so I'm gonna take my leave, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Bye.